this guy wakes up in a cave without any memory, but then his mind clears and he remembers that he was a knight who was killed by the sword of a demon, and now he was reborn. He checks his status to see what he has become and realizes he is now an S-rank behemoth, a calamitous monster that is capable of fighting an entire army. He feels conflicted because he was a knight sworn to protect humanity, but now he became a terrible monster. But in reality, he's just a cat. Elsewhere in the city, a hot blonde elf opens her window in the morning, getting out of her nightgown to dress up for her day as an adventurer. In the cave, the behemoth still feels weird about becoming a monster, but he is glad that he was given another chance at life. He notices that a slime is facing him, ready to attack, so he picks a skill to fight. He chooses rock howling and unleashes a sharp rock at the slime, killing it instantly. His stomach growls because he hasn't eaten anything since he reincarnated, so he eats part of the slime, realizing that he can steal the skills of the monsters he eats. He gets the storage skill, which means he has an inventory where he can put the rest of his praise. In the city, the hot elf takes a boat and goes to the entrance of a coliseum. The guards stop her, but she shows them a golden amulet and they let her inside. The cat keeps fighting and eating monsters to steal their skills. He gets flight skill from a wyvern, fireball and icicle lance from a minotaur, iron body from a golem, and poison fang from a poison serpent. Meanwhile, the hot elf enters a dungeon inside the Colosseum and uses an emerald to light the way. The cat is still walking through the cave and he finds a treasure chest, something he was never able to find back when he was a knight. He opens it and finds a giant crystal inside, but it was a trap. It was a teleportation crystal that sends him right on top of an earth dragon. He disturbs the dragon's slumber, so he needs to be eliminated. Rock howling doesn't work, but it opens a hole on the roof of the cave. He uses iron body to block an attack, but the sharp claws of the dragon still hurt him. When he's about to get smashed to pieces, he uses his flying skill and manages to escape through the hole. In the dungeon, the elf unsheathes her sword, thinking of when she was a kid and saw another elf fighting demons. The cat escapes to the same dungeon as the elf, but he is hurt and can't walk anymore, so he drops to the ground. He sees someone getting close and thinks this is how he dies, but it was the elf who picks him up and takes him to her house. She had put bandages all over his injuries and comes back to bring him milk. She was worried because he was just a tiny kitten in the middle of a dungeon. She doesn't know he's a dangerous monster. She thinks he's just an ordinary cat. Now he is living with her until he heals. She redoes his bandages and he is lucky enough to watch her change and sleep on her balloons. She nursed him back to health and gave him a home. So now he must protect his new master and make sure she is always safe. She is going to the dungeon again, so he follows her in secret. He is worried about her being alone, because a woman must always prepare for the worst. She comes face to face with a trio of goblins, but easily slices through them with her acceleration skill and cuts their ears off so she can give them to the guild. But then a goblin mage appears, throwing a huge fireball at her, and the behemoth has to jump at her and push her away from the fire. He can't use his skills without revealing his true self, so he just slashes the goblin's face and he falls down the stairs of the dungeon. On their way back, he feels like he's in heaven, resting on the elf's big melons while she rubs his belly as thanks for saving her life. They go to the Adventurers Guild and are received by Lord Casman, who greets the hot elf, who's called Arya. He wants to know if she changed her mind about joining his party, but she refuses. He won't take no for an answer and tries to touch her cake, but the cat jumps on his hand and doesn't let go. Casman throws him up in the air and he comes back down, mauling his face off. He grabs his sword and tries to attack, but a huge guy called Arno Holzwilnager, or Anna, grabs it and asks if he's seriously thinking about wielding a sword on guild grounds, and Casman runs from there in a flash. Arya thanks him and he sees the cat, the little knight in shining armor. He saved Arya's life twice now, and she decides to make him her official pet and call him Tama, which means he doesn't have to sneak around anymore. Arya gives Anna the goblin ears and completes her mission, and he says she is close to getting promoted. She sits down and plays with Tama, tickling his belly, but she looks too excited doing that. She is way too drunk now, and complaining that Tama stopped playing with her to groom himself, and she says that if he doesn't fix his attitude, she will not allow him to get in the bath with her. As an honorable knight, he decides he will not go into the changing rooms or into the women's bath, but he doesn't have a choice. So, as an honorable knight, he will stay beside his master no matter the situation. In the bath, while Tama and Arya's balloons are floating in the water, she absent-mindedly asks him if he thinks she will ever be strong. When she was a kid, the place where she was born was attacked by demons, but they were all saved when the Sword Saint appeared. After that, she wanted to be as strong as the Saint to protect people. Tama had heard of Alicia the Sword Saint, the hero of Ragnarok, who single-handedly saves an elven village, and he rubs his face in Arya's to make sure everything's fine. In the morning, Arya leaves for the guild again, with Tama on her bust, and everyone in town seems to like her. When she enters the guild and greets Anna, he says she picked a bad day to be there, because Lord Kazman is there again. He has an order from a baron to put Tama down for scratching his face. Arya is desperate, begging him to have mercy on the cat, but it's in poor taste to revoke orders from a baron, so he proposes a challenge. If she beats him on a duel, Tama can go free. If he wins though, she has to become his wife, and she has no choice but to accept it. They are about to begin the fight, but Kazman says it wouldn't be fair, because he's a rank B adventurer while Arya is rank C, so he asks if anyone wants to assist her in the fight, but no one from the audience volunteers. Then Tama jumps in, wanting to fight. Arya is not sure, but Anna says Tama is her little knight in shining armor, and he wants to protect his master. Kazman laughs at the situation, because a single kitten means nothing to him, but Tama is going to make him pay for making his master cry. Tama is the first to jump at Kazman, but defeating him without using his skills is almost impossible. Arya uses acceleration to help, but Kazman dodges her swords and kicks her side. She throws knives at him, but they don't do anything, and Kazman starts swinging his sword at her, saying that she's much better suited for holding a knife in the kitchen. Tama can't handle all of that sexism, but he also can't use his skills. The brute shoves Arya's swords away and she falls, and it looks like the fight is over. Kazman is drooling at the thought of marrying that sweet piece of elf, and wants her to admit defeat already. When he's about to slash her, Tama uses Iron Body and blocks the attack, turning Kazman's sword into pieces, following it with Eater howling, which sends the guy flying. As a finishing touch, Kazman's sword tip flies directly into his little eggplant. Now, Tama is sure that everyone knows he's a behemoth, and that they're going to kill him again, but he doesn't care. He was able to keep his master safe, and that's what it means to be a knight. He couldn't have asked for a more memorable death. Arya and Anna approach him, but instead of thinking he's a monster, they think he's an elemental cat, because he can understand human speech and use elemental magic. So it seems that Tama is safe for now. He is a behemoth, an S-rank monster, but he's been mistaken for a cat, and now he lives as a hot elf's pet. Well, that was the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Also, hit the notification bell so you won't miss anything new. And I'll see you on the next video. Bye bye.